In life's journey, we've all experienced moments when our expectations aren't met and our hopes are put on hold. This can be a painful reality, especially when it feels like the very thing that brought us joy is now out of reach. The Bible reminds us in Proverbs 13:12, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick." These words offer comfort and insight into why we feel this way. When we place our trust in something, whether it's a relationship, a career goal, or a dream, and that thing doesn't materialize as expected, it can be incredibly disheartening. Our hearts ache with longing and disappointment, making us wonder if things will ever get better. This is where many of us struggle to find hope. It's natural to feel like giving up when our hopes seem lost in the uncertainty of life. But what does it mean for our faith when we face such challenges? Can we truly hold on to God when our circumstances are difficult and our emotions are fragile? In this exploration of hope, Deferred makes the heart sick, we'll delve into the biblical teachings on hope and perseverance. We'll examine how Jesus Christ's teachings, as well as those of other key figures in Scripture, can help us navigate life's unexpected twists and turns. Biblical context in key passages. The phrase, "hope deferred makes the heart sick," is not a new concept in Scripture. In fact, it's a timeless truth that has been echoed throughout the Bible. One of the most well-known passages related to this idea can be found in Proverbs 13:12. However, it's not just limited to this verse alone. The theme of hope and its relationship with our hearts is explored in various books and chapters of the Bible, such as Psalm 39:7, where David writes, "And now, Lord, what do I wait for? My hope is in you." This passage highlights the connection between our hope and our trust in God. Another significant passage that touches on this idea is Isaiah 41:10-1. The prophet Isaiah encourages us with these reassuring words. "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be frightened, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This verse reminds us that our hope is not just a feeling or an expectation, but an anchor that holds fast to the unshakable promises of God. The Bible offers many examples of individuals who had to wait for their hopes to be realized. Take, for instance, the story of Jacob in Genesis 28:22, where he makes a vow to serve the Lord if he will indeed bless him and return him safely to his homeland. This passage shows us that waiting on God doesn't mean we're without hope. Rather, it's an opportunity for our faith to grow stronger. Psalm 39:7. Isaiah 41:10. Meaning and key themes. The phrase, "hope deferred makes the heart sick," is a poignant reminder of how our expectations can be shattered, leaving us feeling lost and disappointed. When we place our trust in something or someone, only to have it delayed or denied, it's natural for our hearts to ache with longing. This concept speaks directly to the human experience, where hopes are often tied to external circumstances. However, Scripture encourages us to look beyond these temporary disappointments and focus on an anchor that holds fast. A hope rooted in God's unshakable promises. Hebrews 6:19. By doing so, we can learn to reframe our understanding of hope and its relationship with our hearts. At its core, hope is not just a feeling or an expectation, but a deep-seated trust that God is working everything out for our good. Romans 8:28. When we fix our eyes on Him, even in the midst of uncertainty, we begin to see that our hopes are not lost, but rather being refined and purified. This perspective shift is crucial because it allows us to move from a place of despair to one of hope. It's not about denying or suppressing our emotions, but about finding a deeper sense of peace and assurance in God's sovereignty. By doing so, we can begin to see that even when our hopes are delayed, they're still being held by an all-loving and all-powerful God. Practical application today. So how do we practically apply this understanding of hope, deferred, in our daily lives? First, we must learn to trust God's timing and His plan for us. This means recognizing that He is working everything out for our good, even when it doesn't seem like it at first glance. Secondly, we need to cultivate a deeper sense of faith that goes beyond mere feelings or emotions. This involves meditating on Scripture, praying regularly, and seeking community with fellow believers who can encourage and support us in our journey. Lastly, we must remember that hope is not just about what we feel, but also about what we do. When our hopes are delayed, it's tempting to give up or lose heart. However, Scripture encourages us to persevere, to keep moving forward with faith and confidence. Hebrews 10:35. By doing so, we can begin to see that even in the midst of uncertainty, God is working everything out for our good. Ultimately, finding faith and hope in the midst of deferred hopes requires a deep trust in God's goodness and sovereignty. It means recognizing that He is not just a distant figure, but an intimate partner who is always working for our best interests. Romans 8:32. By holding on to this truth, we can begin to see that even when our hopes are delayed, they're still being held by an all-loving and all-powerful God. In conclusion, as we navigate the complexities of life, it's easy to get caught up in the disappointment and despair that comes with deferred hopes. But what if we were to reframe our understanding of hope? What if we saw it not as a feeling or an expectation, but as a deep-seated trust that God is working everything out for our good? By fixing our eyes on Him, even in the midst of uncertainty, we can begin to see that our hopes are not lost, but rather being refined and purified. It's not about denying or suppressing our emotions, but about finding a deeper sense of peace and assurance in God's sovereignty. So let us learn to trust God's timing and His plan for us. Let us cultivate a deeper sense of faith that goes beyond mere feelings or emotions. And when our hopes are delayed, let us remember that hope is not just what we feel, but also what we do, persevering with faith and confidence in the midst of uncertainty.